Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblix here, and today I want to talk to you about the ArmourLite Caliber. How y'all doing today? So, here's the presentation, and it's a pretty interesting box. For those that know ArmourLite, you know this box. It's one of those tried and true, you know, it can't be anything but an ArmourLite. So there's their logo there, and you do get this display window. Of course, it is covered up when it ships, just like it is right now. But if they wanted to display it in the store, they would pull out the foam padding in here. So let's take a look at this Caliber by ArmourLite. Nice. There you go. Now, pull this guy out. And we just have inside instructions, of course. ArmourLite puts really nice tags on their watches, made to last. And of course, this is that foam padding I was telling you about. You can pop this out, and you get the window where you can display it, you know, store display or home display, whatever you want to do. So enough about the box. We don't want to faff about on the box. We want to take a look at the watch. Now, this ArmourLite Caliber is not the watch I wanted. I was looking for a lightweight polycarbonate watch. Decent, good quality with tritium tubes, and we'll talk about all that in a minute. But that's what I was hunting for, and I wanted a Luminox because I've always liked the mystique of the Luminox brand. But I could not find one at a price that I was willing to pay. Kept looking and looking and looking. Then I saw this guy come up. Now, I did get this from the Watch Gang Exchange, so it is, bought it used from another Watch Gang Exchange member. Got a heck of a deal on it, and just some he had. I think he won it off the wheel and just wasn't interested, but it suited me well. Because it's very similar to the Luminox I was looking for and couldn't find, and was at a price I was happy with, so I went ahead and picked it up, said, give it a try, what the heck. Got it home, fell in love with it. It is awesome. Ironically, the day after this watch arrived, the day I received this watch in the mail, the Luminox I was looking for, it got posted. And somebody was selling it, so boom, there you go. We got the Luminox as well. Review coming down the road. Today we're talking about the ArmourLite. Not a watch I was expecting to love, because again, I had my heart set on that one. Even wanted the green, and I was like, okay, well, it's orange. You guys know I love my orange. It's not the green I wanted, but it'll work. And, it has a lot of similar features to the Luminox. It's just an ArmourLite brand. So I was like, okay, we'll give it a go. So this is what I got. And, again, love it. It is awesome. I am so glad I was able to get past my misconceptions about it and get it on wrist, because it is fantastic. So, Fizz Buddy, I'm looking at you on this one. My buddy Fizz out there, we've been talking about his situation with watches. He's looking for something durable. He works in a job where he's working around metal all day, and he doesn't wear a watch, but he likes watches, because he's afraid of damaging it. And then on the weekends, he's out kayaking and fishing, canoeing, doing all sorts of manly things out in the bush. And want something that will work well for both situations. And Fizz Buddy, this is it. The sucker will do you well, guaranteed. I can't imagine you having a problem with something like this, and we'll get into why. It is not a steel case. Now, this guy does have a steel back, So a screwed in steel back. There are screws back here. I'll pop the strap off here in a little bit and show you. But the case itself is polycarbonate. So it's actually carbon fiber reinforced polycarbonate. So it is super durable. I mean, that is hard as a rock. I mean, you can't scratch it. You can't, I mean, just digging my fingernail into it as hard as I can and nothing. I mean, not even just nothing. Gonna hold up really well, I do think, and has held up for what I've worn it for. Now, granted, I don't wear it as roughly as Fizz probably would, but it's definitely going to hold up. It does have a screw-down crown, does it? I can't remember. Could be wrong on that. Yep, I am wrong on that. It just has a push-pull crown, but it is water-resistant down to 200 meters. So it's going to take the wet. The nylon strap is going to help with that. It does come in several different strap flavors. You can get it in a mesh, a steel bracelet. You can get it in silicone, or this one obviously, it came to me at least anyway, on a nylon strap, which is not offered on their website. So I'm thinking maybe this was done aftermarket, but I love it. I would have absolutely put a nylon strap on it if it didn't already have one. They're tough, they're light, and they dry really quick when you get them wet. So silicone also works really well, but silicone starts to get itchy on my skin after a while. I really prefer a leather or a nylon, I think. Though I will wear silicone from time to time. It does have the rotating crown. It is unidirectional, only one way it will turn. And is probably not 120 clicks. I'd guess maybe 90 or so. And it is very tight. I mean, there's no play in it. You saw I was kind of having to crank down on it to get it turned. I like that, so you don't bump it and knock it off course. So great for timing things. Most people call this a dive function, but the reality is most people wearing dive watches aren't divers or will ever use them for diving. But you can absolutely use it to time how long your pot roast has been cooking. Things of that nature. So, cool to have it. And it is something practical in everyday life that you can use for timing different things. The glass. Super, super thick. Sapphire glass with an anti-reflective coating. You see when I hold it in the light how it doesn't. I mean, you're always going to get some reflection, but it's a lot less than it is with other watches that we've seen. Where they like the light that I've got positioned up over here will just bounce right off of them if I hold it too far in this direction, like right here. But here, even though you can see the light, you're still able to see the hands and the digits on the watch. So that's really great when you're outdoors in the sun or in an office building with a bunch of fluorescent lights all over your head. That anti-reflective coating makes a huge difference in you being able to see the watch. This guy is not super light, but he's not heavy either. He's a middleweight, but he feels a lot lighter than he really is. So all the weight is right here, and it's not much, but there's hardly any weight on the strap at all. So we'll take a quick look at what he actually weighs, but I'm going to tell you, in person, he feels so much lighter than he is. I'm expecting about 3 ounces, 2.3 ounces. There you go. So definitely lighter than most of the watches out there. And again, he feels even lighter than he actually is. Now, he's a decent size. He's not a small watch, but he's not huge either. Take a quick peek at the dimensions. Across to the crown. Of course, that's one of your bigger measurements. You're looking at a 20. That doesn't seem right, does it? I think my calibration's off. Let's zero that out, shall we? looking at a 53. Now that sounds better. Lug to lug, we're looking at a 51, and at its shorter distance, it's going to be a 47. So it's not a small watch by any means. Of course, the band is replaceable. I already told you there's several bands out there for it. And you're looking at a... This is actually hard to do with that nylon band. Man, get in there. You're looking at a 23. So I'd probably buy a 22 because 23 is kind of an oddball size. And that'll get you going. Or just buy it off the ArmourLite website. Now this guy does have tritium tubes. You can see in here, see them on the hour hand, the minute hand. There's a little tiny one on the second hand. And there's one at each hour indicator. As well as up here on the crown at the 0. So I will hold this in. Hopefully the camera will refocus for you guys and you can see all those little tritium tubes. Now, tritium is very cool. It is radioactive. So yeah, I'm holding something that produces radiation in my hands right now. Dead. No. It does have a half-life, and what's happening is the radiation it's releasing is exciting phosphor on the inside of those little glass tubes and makes them light up. So it's not glowing in the traditional sense, where you have to charge a watch with light. And when I do my lume shots, I actually use this Surefire, Streamlight TL. Golly, words out of my mouth. Streamlight TL2X. And I will charge those guys up. I just put it on the face for a few seconds, charge it up real bright, pull it away, and take my lume shot. Sometimes, occasionally, I will use this UV light when I'm testing, because it will show me things that the other light will not. But you don't need to do that with this. So, in a traditional loomed watch, much like this Heritor Morrison that we've already reviewed, superluminova phosphorescent material is applied to all the indicators. It's painted on, basically. This material absorbs light, so when I shine the flashlight on it, it's absorbing that light. And then it's kind of like a VCR or a DVR. It'll just replay the light that it's already seen for a while. But over time, that it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until it runs out of light that it's stored up, much like a battery does, and then it kills over. Tritium tubes never run out of power until they do. Because it is based upon radioactive decay, you get about 12.5 years and they'll start to deteriorate. There's a 12.5 year half-life on tritium, if I remember properly. Trying to remember my chemistry. So in about 12.5 years, they're going to cut in half, and then that half will cut in half and 12.5 more, and that half will cut in half and 12.5 more. But for those first 12.5 years, you're going to have max illumination 24/7, 365. No light needed. You can take this down into a completely dark cave and live there for 5 years. It will still have light. It will still be producing light. Throw it in a dark drawer, never need to charge it up, pull it out, it's immediately producing light. It's always producing light. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. This guy does also have a date complication over here at the 3 o'clock, which is great. It's got the nice white background, black character, very easy to read. Again, the crystal is fantastic on this guy. Super, super thick, really tough. ArmourLite prides themselves on making really tough watches. Able to stand up to a ton of rigor. And I have zero doubt that this guy will, in fact, do that. If you could feel it in your hand right now, you'd be like, oh, okay, that makes great sense. It's just everything's nice and tight. It's prim and proper. It's just, the way it feels. You're not going to do damage to this guy anytime soon. So let's pop this strap off so you can take a quick look at the back. And there you go. You can see the screwed in back right there. Very simple. Nothing fancy. Just says carbon fiber reinforced polycarbonate, sapphire, water resistant, 200 meters. All the stuff I've already told you. Now, this guy does have a Swiss movement. He is a quartz watch, not an automatic. That has pluses and minuses. Plus, it'll never run down. As long as the battery's good, it's not going to run down on you. The autos, after time, after 30 to 40 hours, it's going to run out on you if you're not moving it. So every time you pick this guy up, as long as the battery's good, he's going to be good to go and telling you the proper time and proper date. So it is a Swiss-made Ronda 515 movement. It's an excellent quartz movement, very accurate. So it is double gasketed, so to help with the prevent water from getting inside, which is what helps to get it its 200 meter water resistance. Again, no doubts it can do exactly what it says it can. Let me clean that crystal off a little bit. I've been fingerprinting all over the heck with that. So yeah, let's get this guy on the wrist. Now today I am wearing a Vostok Europe Lukenhod 2. Man, what a cool piece. This thing is it is a mechanical, it's a quartz-based mechanical watch with hands that can do stuff that digital watches can't even do. Very, very cool. Review will come down the road. One of the more expensive watches I have in my collection. But a very cool piece nonetheless. So, the way you would see it is right there for you. Not a bad size. Like I said, a little bit bigger than some of the pieces, but not big by any means. We'll pop it on the proper way and buckle it down. Again, you can get different straps. I really like this this nylon strap, so I would definitely go that way. But if nylon's not your thing, you prefer leather or metal or whatever, all those are offered as well. Now, both keepers are metal loops, so of course they're going to last, but they're both captive. I do prefer this one to be loose, but obviously it wouldn't make sense on this particular style of band, so they are both captive. But there you go. Boy, that looks good. And it functions so well and is so ridiculously light, you're just going to forget that you're wearing it. It's going to disappear on your wrist, and you're just going to completely forget that you're wearing it until you lay down at bed at night, the lights are off, and you roll over and you wonder what time it is, and you look at your wrist, and you can actually read it. It is an awesome, awesome thing. I will tell you a little secret. This is my go-to go-to-bed watch. Between this and that Luminox right there are the two that I will almost always wear when I'm getting ready for bed. And regardless of what other watch I've worn throughout the day, one of these two will end up on my wrist in the evening 9 times out of 10. Not 100% of the time, but doggone close. Just adore them, for those tritium tubes. The fact that you can always see what time it is, no matter what, is great. Now it is going to seem like it's not as bright as the Super Luminovas, but again, it's forever. Yeah, it's. I agree. It's probably not as bright as the Super Luminova. Now these are T25 tritium tubes. They do also make T100s. In the ArmourLite line, if you go to the T100s, which are brighter tubes, you've moved up into what they call the ISO-brights instead of the ArmourLites. So the ArmourLites are the T25s, the ISO-brights are the T100s, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's probably right. So if the T25 isn't bright enough for you, jump up to the T100s. Yeah, you're going to pay more though, but it's going to be a brighter tritium tube. So, what would I use this for? Well, I've already told you. I use this definitely 100%. Nighttime use is fantastic. Anything you're doing outdoors at night, if you're hunting, fishing, hiking a trail and it might get dark on you, anything like that is, it's perfect for that. If you're just, hanging out around the house and you might run outside and take out the trash and it's a little dark out there, it's a great watch for that. Because it's so tough with that carbon fiber reinforced polycarbonate and that strong nylon band, there's not much I wouldn't do with this thing. I mean, I cook with it, I clean with it. If I'm just puttering around the house, it's a great watch to have on. I'll wear it to work. Now, I don't have a tough job by any means. Mentally tough, I guess, but not physically. I do work in an office building, but yeah, I'll absolutely wear it in there. Especially if we're moving. I know we're going to be moving stuff around, and I'm going to be, doing a little more manual labor. This is definitely worth, strapping this guy on, as opposed to, something like the Lukenhod, which is definitely a tough watch by all means. Look at this chunky monkey, but not something I want damaged. Where this, I'm not even worried about if it's going to get damaged. I'm more worried about what it's going to damage. The other way around. So just, a beast of a tough watch. Would I want this replaced in the event it was a bulldozer ran over it after it was blown up by a nuclear bomb and finally made it not work? Yes, I would. It is an awesome watch. I love having it. I have my Luminox, so I would probably just roll with that. But if I didn't have either one, I want at least one of them. So that is the thing. I do want it replaced. These retail on ArmourLite's website for $299. Again, you are a complete moron if you pay retail for a watch. Do not do it. However, ArmourLites do seem to hold their value really well. I'm finding these online, new for between $250 and $290. So, they are definitely holding their value. Again, I bought this used from the Watch Gang Exchange. I really don't think the guy wore it very much. I think he did wear it, but I don't think he wore it very much. I paid $100 for it. So, is it worth $100? Heck yeah. Would I pay $100 for it again? Heck yeah, absolutely. It does come in various other colors. So if orange isn't your thing, it is mine, but if it isn't yours, you can get it in various other color patterns, and blacks and whites and blues and things like that. Again, and different straps, types as well. So I do think that is all I have on the ArmourLite Caliber. Sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me as we learn more about this guy. And until next time, you guys get out there and make some noise. See ya.